Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2006 Mitsubishi Fuso FE140. Below me is a 4.9 liter turbo diesel inline 4, as well as a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Fuso for one reason. It's a utility truck, and I think it's so cool. I have not driven anything quite like this here on the channel. I always try to bring you guys the most diverse reviews I physically can, and so today we're taking a look at this Mitsubishi Fuso FE. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Lastly, huge thank you to Ray Chevrolet here in Fox Lake, Illinois for letting me borrow their Mitsubishi Fuso for today's video. Please go check out their inventory using the link in the description below. But let's get back to that 4.9 liter inline 4 underneath me. Well, this is a cab over truck, so I'm sitting quite literally in front of and on top of the engine. 4.9 liters is huge for an inline 4. That's over a liter per cylinder. It's almost a 5-liter Mustang V8 with half the cylinders. That is crazy. It makes wonderful torque. Even though it is a 4-cylinder, it moves this giant truck with ease. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic. Again, not breaking any records here with that, but it works. Although when I do put it in reverse, the right turn signal comes on. Not sure why. Now, the nice thing about the transmission is normally I show the little transmission stalk to talk about it, but I can just show you the transmission. It's sitting out right here. There it is. Last but not least, this is rear-wheel drive. I don't have any 4-wheel drive settings in here or anything like that. How does it feel to drive the Mitsubishi Fuso FE? Well, it's a cab over truck, meaning you sit on top of the front axle or the front wheels. So turning, you have to start turning once you're like part of the way past the turn, if that makes sense. You have to recalibrate your thinking. Every bump is so much more aggressive because you're right on top of the action. There's no space or time to isolate you from every bump in the road. Your spine is a shock absorber today and every day that you drive a Fuso. That being said, the windshield has plenty of space and it's actually really easy to drive. The mechanics of it are super simple. The power steering works really, really well. It's light and simple. It's just quite the aggressive bounce when you hit a pothole. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer that redlines just above 3,000 RPM, speedometer in the center, and then coolant temperature and fuel off to the right. The steering wheel doesn't have anything on it besides the horn button, but it's also very flat. It almost feels more like a forklift steering wheel than an actual automotive steering wheel. To the left of the gauge cluster, we do have our oil check button as well as our lock and unlock, and we have a tiny little cubby for like a business card or a pen. I also think this might be the first car in shooting cars history that you can actually change the brake fluid from inside the car. As you're driving, you can be pouring brake fluid in. That is so funny, and it's just a little cap right here on the dash. And moving out of the door, we have this really funky door latch, power windows, and window locks. Also on the door, you'll find an ashtray. Very nice to have. Moving into the center, we do get a radio, CD player, AM and FM. Nice stuff there. And then we have our climate controls. Where to send it off to the left, fan speed in the center, temperature off to the right. We also do get a little cubby, the shifter, hazard switch, and 12-volt outlet. Now, off to the right of all of that, we do get an extra vent, a cubby, and pull-out cup holders. Now, these pull-out cup holders fail the big friggin' bottle test. However, in between the 2 other seats and me, I do have a cup holder that does pass the big friggin' bottle test. So very, very nice to see that the Fuso does get a pass. Now, the seats themselves aren't very comfortable, but this is where you really notice that the design and feeling in here is not 2006, it's very 1990s. And just the pattern on the seat, it's kind of fun and light, which we saw a lot in the 90s, but carried on here through the 2000s. Now, we don't have any back seats, but we do have a bed of sorts, So we'll walk around back there. All right, well, we're around the back of the Mitsubishi Fuso, and this one is a flatbed with wood planks. Now, the luxury or the nice thing about these Mitsubishis is that they could be built to be anything you want. You could slap whatever metal you wanted on the back. This particular truck has a flatbed for, I'm sure, flatbed purposes, but you could put a box on the back. You could put a car hauler on the back, whatever you wanted. So this is just what this particular one has. As I mentioned with the transmission, the bed's a little short. I don't know if they like misordered it or something, but it leaves quite a bit just out and about. So that's the transmission, that's the engine. It's just kind of chilling here. So that's very, very interesting. There's the air intake on the side. So that is the rear end of this particular Mitsubishi Fuso FE. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and it's a utility vehicle. I mean, I don't really know what you want out of it. It's not pretty. It's not nice. It is here for a job. It has headlights because it has to. It is white, so it can be applied to many different jobs. I mean, that's just it. It's just a tool. This is no different than a hammer or a screwdriver or screwdriver that you use as a hammer. This is it. It's just what you see is what you get. It's a very honest automobile, and I like that a lot. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Mitsubishi Fuso FE? Well, the thing I like most about this truck is that it's much like Accents in the UK. You go one town over, it's called something else, and it's doing a different job. These were sold all throughout the world in so many different markets, and they were adapted to so many different markets with so many different engines, with so many different options, with so many different uses. And so to me, not only am I driving a Mitsubishi Fuso in Northern Illinois today, but I also get a somewhat cultural experience of what it's like to drive a truck in Malaysia, of what it's like to drive a truck in South America. I get world experience without leaving my home state. That's what I love about driving global cars. And for you, the viewer, you might not live in Illinois. You might not have gotten the Fuso. Maybe it was called something else by you. Maybe you've seen one on your streets, in your country, in your language. That is what's so cool. The other interesting thing is just how Japanese this truck is. The interior feels Japanese, like all the old K vehicles that I've driven, Mitsubishi or not. It drives like a Toyota Hiace. It drives like a Mitsubishi Bravo K truck, just on a much bigger scale. It has all of those attributes that I'm so familiar with. And it feels like a 90s truck, even though this is an '06. It feels like this came out in 1991, and there's a certain charm that comes with that. Maybe utility trucks don't have to please anyone, so they don't have to change all that much. And so I kind of like that. To me, that puts a smile on my face. And when I'm smiling, driving a car, it's a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of a Mitsubishi Fuso FE. Huge thank you to Ray Chevrolet for letting me borrow their Fuso for today's video. What an odd vehicle. They have really, really cool inventory. I've reviewed plenty of vehicles from them. I appreciate them, and I recommend them. So if you're in the Fox Lake, Northern Illinois area, please go check them out with the link in the description below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.